So voice types, really, there are only three: high, medium, low, when you boil it all down. And then you have also male or female. And then you also have adult and child. And then none of that's really true because there's actually like 5 million different voice types in the Fox system. But when you really boil everything down to the most basic way of thinking of things, you have high, medium, low, and then are you male or are you female? So the most common voice type for both male and female is the medium type. So the three types for females are soprano, mezzo-soprano, and contralto. And soprano is obviously the highest type. Mezzo-soprano is medium. Mezzo means medium. And it looks like mezzo because it's M-E-Z-Z-O, but the word is pronounced mezzo. Mezzo. So mezzo, soprano, and then contralto. You'll notice alto is not a voice type. Alto is a choir part, even though you'll hear people say, I'm an alto. That's not really the best way to describe yourself, unless you're in the choral context where you're like in a choir and you're like, I'm one of the altos, because that's the part I sing. And that's a weird, there's a whole lot of music history behind why those words are the way they are, but we'll just leave it there for now. And unless you're curious to know more. No, just kidding. We don't have time. We don't have time. So, and then just so you know, for men, tenor is high, baritone is medium, and bass is low. For both types, medium is the most common type, high is the second most common type, and the most rare type is low. And all of these types are determined by various factors, which not everybody agrees on. So you could be diagnosed as a different voice type if you're kind of on the line sometimes, like depending on who you ask. But the length of your vocal tract is one of the determining characteristics. Your vocal tract beginning with your larynx and ending with your lips. The range you can sing, which means the lowest note to the highest note that you can sing, which in your case at your first lesson was from C3, which is quite low for a female, all the way up to F5. And the other thing is your color, your weight, the timbre of your voice, like the quality of your voice. And so I have had, you just asked about a contralto voice type. So a contralto voice type and a tenor voice type sing the same range approximately. Just on a male instrument, the range sounds high. On a female instrument, the range sounds low. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you could sing the exact same pitch. For a female, that pitch sounds really low, but for a male voice, that pitch sounds quite high. Mm-hmm. So I've had some contraltos in my career. Like I said, that's the rarest of the female voice types. And your range, like getting all the way down to a C3, you could make an argument based on your range that you could fall within the contralto classification, possibly. But the quality of your voice is the quality of a mezzo-soprano voice. You have a lot of strength in your upper register that contralto singers don't typically have. And you know, these are like, this is a classification system we are superimposing onto what exists in nature, right? So it's not a perfect system. There are a lot of different opinions about it, but that's my opinion, and I'm the one you're paying, so that's all that matters. But there are just a couple other like outliers that are weird or unusual. So the child voice type is always called the treble, a treble voice type prior to puberty. And treble means high, and that's because children typically sing in a mezzo-soprano range, the female adult mezzo-soprano range approximately. And there's also the countertenor, which you encounter with Ombra Mai Fu. And so a countertenor is a male singer who sings in the mezzo-soprano or soprano range of a typical adult female singer. And then, like I say, the Fox system, which is from Germany and is to help understand like which types of voices should sing which types of roles in opera, that divides each of the high, medium, low categories into like lots more pieces. But we don't necessarily need to know about all of that right now. So does that make sense? Do you have any questions?
No, that helps a lot.
Yeah. Voice types are very interesting. I have one student who is, I say, a lyric baritone, or I mean a lyric tenor, and I took him to my voice teacher. Did not tell her my opinion. She said the same thing. But I have a colleague who insists that he is a lyric baritone. So, like, there, and she does, you know, he has enough qualities in his voice that it kind of could go either way, right? So there are some voices that are a little tricky to diagnose.
Yeah.
And there's like a baritone classification, which is like you can do both, or so, yeah. Anyways, but that's a little quick overview from somebody who knows a little bit.
Cool.